Richard, of course, writes for Whole Hog Sports in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, joining us on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. I know they did the dollar hot dogs this year. There have been some promotions. Richard, what's your favorite ballpark promotion that you've either been to or you've just heard about when it comes to baseball?
I think I actually went to the Arkansas Travelers Junker Car Night, where just junky cars, they would give away cars to people, and I mean it was a very unique promotion, but evidently it was pretty popular. I'm pretty sure I was there one night. I can't remember, but unfortunately I didn't get a junker.
They give you a bat to hit, hey, $1 you get to hit this car. You try and knock off a mirror or break the glass or something like that. It's crazy how sometimes the just the small entertaining things will get us to spend our cash a time or two. RD, you got some recruiting news this week, man. Bryce Gilmore, will start with him, 4-star offensive lineman, 2026 class, Prosper, Texas, had to be out a couple SEC schools to get him. Tell us a little more about Bryce.
Yeah, 6'5", 290, a very good-looking kid. Saw him at a spring practice, and he just, man, he looked good. And flat belly guy, consensus 4-star prospect. Every which obviously means that every recruiting service rated him a 4-star. Excuse me, rated the number 15 overall offensive tackle in the nation, according to On3 industry ranking, but had obviously a very nice offer list. But after talking to him on Sunday, I kind of thought that he was about to pull the trigger. There were some indications just in his words and the way he talked about the visit. But really, Coach Pittman and Coach Mateos won him over. But I tell you what, I think what really put him over the top was he talked about going to other schools, and some of the upperclassmen, some of the other offensive linemen really kind of shying away from maybe talking to some of the recruits, not really being, I guess, hospitable. But Corey Robinson and some of the other offensive linemen just spent a lot of time with him and made him feel at ease, and that's something that he didn't experience at other places, evidently. And that really kind of seemed to me put Arkansas over the top. So that was a very good get. There's no doubt about that. Then you had Caleb Gordon, yesterday, linebacker from North Carolina. He's a 3-star prospect. But I'm going to tell you, he will lay the lumber, and he's got very good speed. When he hits you, usually the running back or the ball carrier is going backwards. And he kind of reminds, I think he kind of reminds him. I think Travis Williams thinks that he reminds him of himself because they're similar size, but 6'6" 6'1". But Travis Williams was all SEC linebacker at Auburn, and I think he sees someone very similar in himself, and that's Caleb Gordon. But he also had an impressive offer list: Virginia Tech, Clemson, numerous others, more than 20 offers. And here's the kicker: Arkansas offered him about 2 weeks ago, really, May 14th, and they were late to the party. So, and he puts Arkansas as his first visit, and he had other visits lined up, but he decided to be a Razorback. So that Travis Williams just won him over, and also won his parents over.
We're talking with Richard Davenport here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. He writes for Whole Hog Sports in the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. That's interesting. You bring up Corey Robinson. For those that, he just came over as a transfer from Georgia Tech. So what does that say about the impact, RD, that Eric Mateos and Sam Pittman obviously have already instilled with Corey, that he's willing to go out on a limb and talk about this program?
Yeah, he's only been there about 6 months, not even 6 months really, and he hosted hosted Bryce, and obviously had really good things to say, and probably, when you get a little older, also too, you've been through the recruiting process, and I'm sure that he probably told him some things that he went through, and probably some things that he should pay attention to. So I think it was like a big brother type situation, and Corey obviously did a great job.
I wonder, football wise, official visits. I know that we had, and Coach Petrino, I think, just caught up with Javon Gilmore. Pittman might have been with them as well. Maybe give us some details of what happened outside of just the commits, but some recent conversations and some recent visits with the football program. RD.
Well, you also had Edward Baker, offensive lineman, 6'5", about 300 plus, from Baltimore, Maryland. He visited, and he's supposed to be at Tennessee this weekend, and North Carolina State, and then Penn State, and then we'll make a decision July the 7th. But he's another one to keep an eye on. Had a great visit. He also bragged on Corey Robinson and Fernando Carmona. Both of those guys hosted him and did a great job. And again, upperclassmen. A lot of times, you in the past, now not necessarily with Coach Pittman, but in the past, sometimes you avoid upperclassmen a little bit, because sometimes those guys have a little, they can have some negativity in them, but evidently that's obviously not the case with Carmona and Robinson. But and then Bryce Gilmore, Javon Gilmore, the quarterback who's been committed to Arkansas since late July. Still very solid, very impressive young man. I tell you what, you want quarterbacks to be like him. KJ Jackson, Taylor Green, guys that are obviously are leaders, just natural leaders, and just the way he conducts himself in the interviews. Very confident young man, and let's face it, the quarterbacks are the face of your program. And Javon Gilmore is going to be a guy that I think Arkansas fans will enjoy getting to know and be proud of, because of the way he carries himself.
RD, last football question before I ask one basketball question. We let you go. Frank Ragnow retires from the National Football League this week. One of the best offensive linemen to come through, not just recently, but you think about where he was drafted by Detroit. You obviously get to know a lot of these young men in the recruiting process. I wonder if there's a memory or conversation that you had with Frank from back in the day that maybe stood out to you when the announcement came out this week.
Well, with him, he was not a guy that did a lot of talking in the recruiting process. I got him maybe, 3 or 4 times to talk, and always enjoyed it. He wasn't rude or anything. He just wasn't a big talker. He was just more focused on the recruiting process without really just, all the attention and getting, and I guess if I remember, probably the thing that sticks out the most is just getting to know his late dad, and what a great guy he was. And you could see that relationship was something special. And obviously, when he passed, that was devastating to Frank. But just a guy that was just ate up with the game of football. So when I saw the retirement, I knew that he was kind of like Travis Williams. Travis Williams played 5 years and he retired. He was looking at the long-term effects of football, and he wanted to make sure that he lived a pretty normal life. I'm sure he's going to have some aches and pains throughout life, but he probably kind of stopped his career to the point where it was going to be even worse. So when I saw the announcement, I said he obviously put a lot of thought into it, because he loved the game of football. He was so ate up with the game of football, and for him to end his career, kind of early, obviously he was thinking long term.
RD, before we let you go, see Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff, and the rest of the guys on campus. Maybe you could give us an inside look of what their offseason basketball looks like. A lot of guys have been here. Pringle got here. Malik Ewan got here. What does that look like the next few months for the basketball players as they prepare for this upcoming season?
Well, workouts and a lot of pickup basketball for sure. And and obviously they'll hit the weights too. Some of those guys, they especially in high school, you're playing year round, and you don't hit the weights as much. Definitely in college, you hit the weights a little bit more. I think you're going to see some change in their bodies between now and say the first practice. And I think usually those guys start to notice the difference in how it impacts their game and benefits them too. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. A lot of those guys are going to be much stronger, and some will add a little bit of weight, but not too much. But definitely see noticeable differences in their bodies.
All right, RD, we'll leave it there, brother. Enjoy the series this weekend. Hopefully Arkansas comes out the victor in the Super Regional, and we're talking about Omaha, Nebraska next week. Appreciate it, bud.
All right, man. We'll see you.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, and even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. With updated odds on the MLB, UFC, and boxing to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.